Shout out to J&J.
So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
Episodes, man. You guys got a real good thing going on.
We've got a J&J Sports Pro Bowl preview.
Let's do it.
And we're going to start in the AFC. So
Let's go.
I picked just 4 teams from each one that were significant, and I thought it'd be interesting to discuss. So the Ravens have 9 Pro Bowlers. Wide receiver Zay Flowers, free safety Kyle Hamilton, running back Derrick Henry. This is his 5th, interestingly. Quarterback Marlon Humphrey, quarterback Lamar Jackson, center Tyler Linderbaum, defensive tackle Nnamdi Madabuki, fullback Patrick Richard, and middle linebacker Roquan Smith. And so just looking at all these names, would you be surprised if I told you that Zay Flowers is the Ravens' first Pro Bowl receiver ever?
It's not a surprise just because of how talented he is and what we've seen from him. I mean, the guy is, he deserves it. I mean, he's put in a lot of work for the Ravens. And I'm happy for him. I seen the video of them announcing it to him. He was so surprised. Like, whoa, I got it. And that just shows, he still has that humbling presence.
Yeah, for their 29 history, for him to be the very first wide receiver that they sent to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I know they've sent people as, like, return specialists.
Yeah.
So I think Jacoby Jones is gone for them.
Yeah.
And kind of looking back and comparing these, the Ravens are in the AFC North. A lot of solid Pro Bowlers from that division. But the AFC East is only sending 3 players total. I think the Bills are sending 2, and the Patriots are only sending 1.
Okay.
So does this sting for the AFC East?
Yeah. That just shows the difference, like, which sides have those dogs and which one is kind of limited. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, considering just 3 players, and then, none from the Jets or the Dolphins. And, that's a big change from where Miami was,
right.
Looking back a year ago. And then moving on, our local team, the Houston Texans, we've got 4 Pro Bowlers. So running back Joe Mixon, wide receiver Nico Collins, cornerback Derek Stingley Jr., and then left tackle Laramie Tunsil. And Houston's got me a little worried lately. They almost maybe look tired, or the season's starting to kind of wear on them. How do you think they're going to do in the playoffs?
James, I don't know, man. I mean, it's a lot that they've been going through, a lot they had to adjust, and we thought that they were, they pretty much was solid, and then Tank Dell situation happened. So it's just a lot. They keep getting hit, they keep getting beat, and it's like, I don't know. It's kind of unknown for me. Still a good team. I'm surprised they don't have C.J. Stroud in the mix this time, but.
Yeah, if they do end up going to the Super Bowl and winning, I would probably compare them to the Packers 2010 team, who I think they had like so many people injured throughout.
Rough start, and still was able to, They can stay. Like I said, they still have a chance, but we'll just have to see.
And then a team that everybody probably thinks is going to be in the Super Bowl, we got the Kansas City Chiefs with 5 Pro Bowlers.
Wow.
So tight end Travis Kelce, guard Joe Thuney, center Creed Humphrey, guard Trey Smith, and defensive tackle Chris Jones. Why was Mahomes left off?
That's a good question. I think it was because of that ankle injury. I don't see any other reason why. Like I said, it's that ankle injury for sure. And that just goes to show it's not one of those seasons where we thought was mediocre for money. Like I said, him being left out is kind of a message like, we focus on the dogs now. Who's,
Yeah, that seems like that's almost honest, an admission of honesty from the players of saying, like, we're not going to send you just because of who you are. We're going to send you because you've earned it.
Yeah, this season. And he's had a pretty good season, but it's some other people that need to shine right now.
Do you think he was upset, or is he just focused on the playoffs? I mean,
I don't think he's upset at all. Like I said, he's been in that situation. I don't think he's upset.
And I know, a lot of players, I think it was somebody with the Ravens came out and said, I don't want to play in the Pro Bowl. I want to play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because that's the one that really, that's where everybody wants to go. That Pro Bowl is kind of like a side after achievement. You could get that anytime, but that championship they focus on. So.
And our very last AFC team that we're going to explore for the Pro Bowl, the Cincinnati Bengals are sending 3 Pro Bowlers. And I thought this was pretty interesting. So you got wide receiver Jamar Chase, defensive end Trey Hendrickson, and then quarterback Joe Burrow. And this kind of had me thinking back to the LSU days with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wondering, looking up forward to this next Pro Bowl, who's going to produce more in the Pro Bowl if they both play? Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase?
Oh, man. That's going to be... And don't have them on the same team. That's going to be crazy. But I think they're both going to produce. You know what I mean? They're both going to do... It's going to be a challenge if they play against each other. Because Jamar Chase, I mean, they can say what they want about that guy. He is... I think he came out of LSU as well, I believe. He's a monster. You know what I mean? I remember that game they played the Ravens. Lamar did a running touchdown, you know, did the little mimic thing. He came right back that next possession. Joe Burrow threw the deep pass and did the same thing Lamar did. So it's just like, I like his skill set and determinant. So he deserves to be on there. And Jefferson, too.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I'm almost kind of wondering who's going to win the Pro Bowl. I'm always going for the NFC. But,
the NFC always looks good. They both look good, though, but the NFC always looks pretty good.
And taking a look at some of these NFC Pro Bowlers. So we're going to start with Philly with 6 Pro Bowlers. Running back Saquon Barkley, we knew he'd be there.
Of course.
Right tackle Lane Johnson. Linebacker Zach Bond. Right guard Landon Dickerson. Defensive tackle Jalen Carter. And center Cam Jurgens. So I actually predict that the Eagles are probably going to be in the Pro Bowl and not the Super Bowl. What do you think?
Oh, man. I would love to see them in the Super Bowl, but you might be right. And just since we're on the Eagles right now, how do you feel about them sitting out Saquon Barkley in this last regular season game? I mean, he's 100 yards away from the record. How you feel about that?
Let him play at least let him play one half.
Right.
And if he's not close, then go ahead and sit him. Let him at least try, because he could get that on 2 plays if he
right.
really
if he really wanted to. Exactly. And you know, you could tell it's kind of weighing in on him, like, you know, he's like, yeah, it's okay, but I mean, you're right. When you're right there, just let him get his record. You know what I mean? And yeah. You know what I mean? So.
And a few weeks back, I watched them playing the Cowboys get into 2,000, and then they sat him right afterwards. So what's the point of letting him get to 2,000 but not try to chase that record? Chase that record,
exactly. He's worked so hard for it, and it's just one game, James. I don't think it's gonna affect him, because he would have been hurt already. You know what I mean? Let the guy play, but we'll see. They might throw him in there. I hope they do, James. So, yeah.
And then. Looking forward to Detroit, they've got 7 Pro Bowlers, and I think this is possibly the most in the NFC. Center Frank Ragnow, safety Brian Branch, punter Jack Fox, quarterback Jared Goff, tackle Penei Sewell, running back Jamar Gibbs, wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay, so yeah, I remember it was Gibbs who said that he wants to play in the Super Bowl and not the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you think Detroit is ever going to make it to the Super Bowl?
They can. I think this could be the season. I don't see nothing else in their way. They can do it. The fact that I'm just surprised, James, they're having success seasons back to back like this. We were just covering them last season. We thought this was a one time, you know, they had a good season, right? They like, no, we're coming back again with Campbell and new add-ons. Shout out to Amar St. Brown contract. But yeah, they deserve it.
Yeah, they're going to be a strong team for a while. They've got a lot of youth there, and they've got a ton of talent, too.
Exactly. And and I know we're finna get into Minnesota, but real quick, they play this Sunday, Minnesota versus the Lions, man. Who you got? That's gonna be a tough matchup. But who you think could take that?
I think it's possible Minnesota surprises Detroit and goes ahead and takes that game.
Yeah.
And I need to look into it, but I'm curious about the playoff implications between the two, because I think maybe Minnesota might be closer to home field advantage, but I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, they might, yeah.
This game actually might decide that, too.
That too, yeah.
That's a possibility. And then, so looking at Minnesota, 6 Pro Bowlers. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson, of course he was going to make it in. Long snapper Andrew DePola, linebacker Jonathan Greenard, linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, quarterback Byron Murphy Jr., and quarterback Sam Darnold. So was Minnesota's success the biggest surprise in the NFL this year?
Absolutely, especially that whole thing with Sam Darnold. you know, him getting hurt and coming back, you know, just coming back successful. I'm happy for him. You know what I mean? I'm happy for that team. And then Jefferson, we know Jefferson's going to be Jefferson. We already knew that. So
I remember Sam Darnold is someone we discussed on the show multiple times as being one of those people who we felt the Jets gave up on too quickly.
Yeah. And I know they're punching the air right now. I mean, they're doing well right now. So, yeah.
And I'm almost wondering, maybe that was the Jets and not Darnold.
Yeah.
They were kind of exposed
and it's a lot of these teams are getting exposed now. We think about the Giants with Saquon. They did him so terribly, but he's so successful with this new team with the Eagles. So it just goes to show sometimes it's the organization.
And then Baker Mayfield, that's another example. I saw a picture of him playing the scout team defensive tackle in Carolina. So they definitely didn't value him very much.
At all. I mean, him with Tampa right now, everything's working out. I mean, he was in the Pro Bowl last season. Yeah.
And then to finish out our Pro Bowl preview, I had to go with Dallas, who surprisingly has 5 Pro Bowlers.
Your team, yeah.
So we got kick and punt returner Kevontae Turpin, kicker Brandon Aubrey, guard Tyler Smith, defensive end Micah Parsons, and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. And this kind of had me wondering, is it their talent or is it the Cowboys' visibility, because they're always on TV, that they have so many Pro Bowlers?
I think it's a little bit of both, but most importantly, visibility. They're one of the richest teams in the NFL, so of course.
Yeah, and looking at these, I think definitely CeeDee Lamb deserves that Pro Bowl spot. Tyler Smith for sure. Parsons, he did pretty good. He was pretty solid this season, but him spending time injured definitely hurt the team.
Yeah.
And Kevontae Turpin, I think that's a good pick right there. Him as a kick returner, punt returner.
Yeah.
That one he had against Washington where he fumbled the ball, picked it up one-handed, and then still got that touchdown.
Man, that was a good game. Now, shout out to CeeDee Lamb too, man. I mean, still just being amazing, even though, you know, team not having a great season, but you're still just dominant. So, shout out to Lamb. He definitely deserves the Pro Bowl.
And we've kind of seen like changes in the Pro Bowl. So sometimes you'll see a real physical game, and then the next year maybe the players are taking it a lot more easily. And they kind of change the rules around a little bit.
Do you think they should keep it flag football, or should they?
I think that's actually not a terrible idea to preserve some of these, because I would be so upset if, you know, maybe Jamar Gibbs or Amon-Ra St. Brown breaks their ankle and then misses like an entire season.
Yeah. That makes sense. So,
you know, that they'd be taking all of that
just
like
over
on-field stuff away just for
an event. Yeah, that makes sense.
So y'all, please let us know what you think about the Pro Bowl. Who you have in the Pro Bowl? Will it be the AFC or the NFC?
AFC, NFC. Who are y'all teams? Y'all players? Like I said, it's a lot of good teams playing this Sunday. We got the Vikings and the Lions. Who else is playing? It's a couple other teams, but we're gonna see who's the dogs for sure. And Saquon, man, let that man play, man, for sure. But yeah. So you guys, that's the end of our show, episode 89. We appreciate you guys. We're 10 away from 100 episodes in 2 years in the game in March. It's an honor working with this man. We've been through a lot, and we just do this for you guys. James, how you feel about everything?
I feel great, and we're gonna try to line it up to where our 100th episode is matched with our 2-year mark.
Exactly.
So that's gonna be a big celebration for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big thing. We're gonna have some guests. We're gonna have a lot of things going, man. But y'all just keep promoting us, keep supporting us, man. We're gonna keep going hard for y'all. Shout out to Band Barracks as always. You guys always put up for us, so we appreciate you guys. But that's the end of our show, man. J&J Sports. I'm Jamar McKeel.
I'm James Sherwood.
And y'all just got served with J&J Sports episode 89. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.